Ren from Hallowed Be Thy Game, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts on Nier Automata. Let's check it out. Oh man, have I had a week. One of my biggest gaming embarrassments of all time was just putting off playing Nier Automata. It was one of those games that I knew I was probably gonna like. Everyone I really liked and respected from a JRPG perspective just had nothing but glowing reviews of it. But there is always that thing in your mind thinking like, well, it's probably overhyped, so I can kind of get to it when I get to it. Well, unfortunately, many years after its release, I finally gotten to it, and I've wasted so much of my life not playing this game. Oh my god. It's eerie, it's moving, it's impactful, it's raw, it's real, it's poignant, it's everything I wanted from a video game. And living in this kind of day and age where games are kind of heading towards a certain direction that I don't really know if I'm on board with yet, with just kind of games as a service, or, you know, just kind of different decisions that gaming in general is making overall, that it is a breath of fresh air to experience Yoko Taro's vision meshed with the combat and gameplay prowess of Platinum Games. I have every confidence in saying Nier Automata is a modern day classic. And I just kind of want to take some time and gush about this game. I'm very late to the party, but just right off the bat, this is Blade Runner, but way hotter. And I mean that with the utmost respect. A lot of the social commentary and the sci-fi thriller aspects of Blade Runner that just kind of shaped sci-fi as a whole, I feel that Yoko Taro has kind of captured that deep existential commentary on humanity and its relationship to the world around us and our place in the universe, or perhaps even our place amongst other humans. And I found myself kind of forced to answer questions within my own heart that were just kind of raw and visceral, and I feel like that it's not something I'm ever used to in a game. I mean, games can often present us with, very moving stories, very sad stories, happy stories, bad stories. But I feel like Nier Automata is a game that was created with a foundation and a story and a direction. And Yoko Taro specifically had something he wanted to state and accomplish with the story, and he set out, and good God Almighty, did he accomplish it. And that's kind of rare, and it's honestly a breath of fresh air to experience. However, this is not a comfortable video game to play. You kind of see and explore the dark heart of man and just this rather visceral and nasty commentary on humanity and its kind of indifference to the plight of others. It's uncomfortable, because it's so impactful and it's so accurate. And I feel like Nier Automata is made for kind of where we're at in society. And I think there's a lot that can kind of be learned, and we can kind of grow and kind of progress in our kindness and relation to other people from like what this story is telling. And I think that is so incredible. Now, I'm spending a lot of time talking about the story because sweet mother of God, Platinum Games, can they do wrong? I mean, I've heard some people complain about Vanquish, but sweet God Almighty, I've never played a bad Platinum game, and this might honestly be some of their best work. I mean, right now, Astral Chain and Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance are probably my favorite combat playing games from Platinum. However, freaking Nier Automata, sweet God Jesus, it's really good. The genre mashup sections of this were kind of mind-blowing at first, and I'll admit I was pretty cynical when I came into this game, and I was like, Yoko Taro is just going to be artsy and kind of visionary and challenging genre tropes and such like that just for the sake of challenging them. And I was just coming from a really cynical place, and this game won me over despite my negativity. The genre mashups were fantastic. The amusement park area with that roller coaster ride, oh my God, was that fun. The shmup sections, the twin stick shooter sections, it was all so well balanced, refined, and easy to approach. I think that's really kind of key here is the game wasn't complicated for the sake of complicated, but it was challenging in a fun way, in an approachable way, as all good games should be. And it goes without saying, the action RPG combat is just God tier. I mean, the responsive, dodging mechanics and just the ability to kind of do different loadouts. And really, what I initially thought was going to be an overly complicated UI, even though it's very simple in approach, I was intimidated by it for some reason, just with the different operating system loadouts, for lack of a better word, your different gear loadouts you can do. It offers a very simple yet unique customization to combat. Being able to just say, hey, I want to hit with my sword like a freight train. I want to be able to use pod gun damage and just do a lot of damage. And it's just, heck yeah. It was so easy to approach. Or if you're doing side quests and you want to build out a loadout to essentially run really fast and complete side quests, it's all there. And there's not really a wrong answer. And if you just want to be a kind of tanky character, have a lot of health, and just have a lot of defensive abilities, it's there. You can't ask for more when it comes to combat design or progression mechanics design in a game. And really, this is some of the best out there in that it's really simple. And I hope that we've not seen the last of Platinum Games and Square Enix kind of tag teaming together. Because if you can have that kind of impactful, deep storytelling from Yoko Taro mixed with just the all gas, no brakes action from Platinum, I mean, like, how can you compete with that? That's excellent. So really, just a couple of points I wanted to kind of touch on here. Voice acting is superb in this game. Everyone brings such a level of personality, passion, and intricacy to their roles that really shines through with the voice acting. 9S, 2B, A2, Pascal, everyone just crushed it. I was really mesmerized by all the dialogue, the character dialogue, the story writers. Everybody did just a superb job on this game. Again, the character development was excellent. I mean, the beginning of Route B's opening, I'm not going to spoil it or anything, but it left me feeling disturbed and uncomfortable. It moved me. I was engaged with the story. It kind of ripped me out of my cynical standing and just had me enveloped and enraptured by where Nier Automata was going to force me to go. And I was in. I was all in. Like, I played this game like all out, even though I was really busy this week. I finished this game in a week, which I'm not gonna lie, it was a couple late nights with that, but it was all worth it. But the world building, when I would see kind of cutscenes or screenshots or things out of context from this game, I thought the world always felt bare. But really just that kind of aesthetic of a post-apocalyptic world, and just a world that has just been ransacked by cultural clashes, or different opposing forces clashing and world war just going on constantly. It really became this extremely in-depth world, and the world building was on point. I loved it. My only complaint, and I'm playing through Nier Replicant now, and I think it is more pronounced in Replicant, is kind of the back and forth design of side quests. And I'm kind of someone who does all the side quests I can as they become available. So doing a lot of side quests before like teleporting becomes available is a little rough at times. You run and do different stuff. But again, I'm playing through Nier Replicant right now because I can't get enough, and I'm having a blast with that. But it is kind of a design choice I can see Yoko Taro is kind of stuck on. But again, no substantial complaints there. I obviously was so hardcore committed to them. I'm close to completing all the side quests for Nier Automata. And just for context, where I've completed routes A through E. I've only gotten one of the other endings, just to leave it at that. So I'm hoping to go back and fully complete the story and then beat Route E again. And well, I'll cover that in maybe next week's video if there's any type of interest in my thoughts on these story spoilers bit. But anyways, so this week I've been thinking heavily about Nier Automata and its story it presents, and obviously Blade Runner. Blade Runner is one of my favorite sci-fi films and stories in all of media. So it's a great class and echelon of storytelling to be in. I was really thinking about the story aspects of Blade Runner, of a period in human history to where machines become more human-like and humans become more machine-like, and kind of the loss of humanity and essentially what it means to have a soul. These very impactful, heavy-hitting, existential thoughts and points to kind of examine the human condition, and kind of looking at the Tears and Rain monologue from Blade Runner. It's almost as if I have experienced a glorious 40-ish hour-long game based around the Tears and Rain monologue, and my God, is my soul happy. It hurts. This game hit me in the feels in some ways that I've never been hit before, and I never want to be hit like that again. I mean, there's literally moments in Nier Automata that are so uncomfortable for me as a parent and for me as just someone who gets really emotionally invested in video games. But that's kind of a testament to the storytelling and the presentation and execution of Nier Automata. The combat and everything kind of builds to this crescendo of action and adrenaline, but then Yoko Taro comes in with these moments of just kind of deep reflection and painful hits to the feels that it really leaves an impact I've rarely ever experienced in other video games. And I'm confident in saying, yeah, I would say this is absolutely one of the best games of the past 10 years. For me, could this game be in my top 10 games of all time? I'm sure it could be, and I know this sounds weird, but this game hit so hard that I don't know when or if I'll ever replay it again and experience the story again, because it really hit hard. And there are moments to where I just had to walk away and just kind of process what had happened, and that's powerful. You know, I mean, some of my favorite films of all time, like let's say The Green Mile, Blade Runner, I don't watch those every week, I don't watch those every year, but they're that powerful. And I feel like that's Nier Automata. Incredible game to play. And if I play it again here recently, it's going to be for that friggin' amazing action. But good God, so many feels. But we'll talk about that in future videos. And really, if you take nothing else from my video and thoughts on this, I just want to say this is the perfect marriage between poignant storytelling and just all-out adrenaline action. I mean, really, you can never ask for more from a video game than that. And I think this game has already become an instant classic in my mind and in my heart. You know, a lot of times you play a game, you're like, wow, I really emotionally connected with that. I loved it. It's one of my favorite games emotionally. But then your mind tells you, yeah, but there's a lot of glaring flaws in this, and you're kind of looking past that. But really, in this case, it's just that good. It's just that good, to where my mind and my heart are both in agreement here. Now, I am a big fan of kaiju movies, and there are some visuals in this. I'm not going to spoil anything, and if you've played the opening of Nier Automata, you know there are some big, grand scale scope to these, and it kind of reminds me of some of the visuals you might see in like anime, like Fooly Cooly, Attack on Titan, whatever it may be. But it's just cinematic, it's epic, it feels grander than you. It's a challenge, and it's a story, and it's a world that's larger than your mind or your preconceptions of video games can kind of expect. And I feel like that theme kind of carried on through to every aspect of combat. You know, when I'm running around and hopping around buildings and I'm trying to hunt down and navigate the map. I don't know why, but it took me a hot minute to kind of get used to the map of this game. I don't know why. Sometimes it just takes me a little bit for things to click. But outside of that, those grand scale shots were just mesmerizing and literally dropped my jaw at times. And I just kind of had to sit there and take it in, because even though it's a desolate world, it is by no means boring. Nier Automata evokes a distilled form of emotion, grief, and despair, and reflecting. And that, to me, has just been a mesmerizing experience. I want to talk real quick about one of the songs that plays in the game. I'm not going to share what context it plays in, but if you've played it, I'm sure you'll know. But Weight of the World has instantly become one of my favorite songs in all of media. Not just games, not just movies, everything. It feels to me as if it's a desperate prayer, and that is the best way that I have the ability to explain it. And kind of that heartfelt cry, those vocals, the music, it's just like win after win, it's hit after hit of just everything lands in this game. The combat, it's right on point, it's perfect. The storytelling, the characters, the voice acting, the musical compositions and just the vocals attached to them just kind of give a voice to just the agony a soul is feeling. I cannot begin to express how much I needed to kind of have that cathartic experience of just anguish, because things are a little dicey going on right now, and for everybody as a whole. And so just kind of be able to have that resonate with my heart, it was perfect. That cathartic experience that was just akin to being physically and emotionally exhausted from crying. I don't know if you've ever been there before. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I hope you haven't been there. But for those of us who have, that's how I would best describe the experience I had playing Nier Automata, but in the best and most respectful of ways. But that's just been my experience with Nier Automata. How about you? Let me know down in the comments. I look forward to reading it. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing, and until then, I'll see you all next time.